What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 32, and we started today's episode off with some player training here. As you can see, Loftus-Cheek is finally going to get some training once again. Now, for a while, I wasn't training him just because I didn't want to maximize it completely and just abuse it, to be honest, and get him to like 85 in the first couple of seasons. But he is going to get some training once again, and a couple of you guys did ask me a couple episodes ago whether Loftus-Cheek was dropped or not, as he wasn't starting for a few games. That's just because this year you need to remember, as we're in the Europa League, we need to keep on rotating the side to keep everyone fresh and keep everyone happy. You can see he's back in the side for this game here against Hearts in Edinburgh for the first game of today's episode here in our second Europa League game of the season. But of course, this season you do need to remember that in the team lineup I'll be showing before the games, you will notice that certain players won't be playing. It's not because they're dropped or anything. If they're dropped, I'll let you know. It's mainly due to fitness reasons. They need to get some rest time in order to play in other games. So we do take on Hearts for the first game of today's episode here in Europa League. As you can see with the team I did pick, there were some first team players out there like Riedewald, like Loftus-Cheek, playing passes to one another here, but a lot of the players were rested for this game because Europa League, although of course I do want to do well in it, the board have asked us to reach the final of this competition this season. It is not of course as important as the Premier League, but the first chance of the game would fall in the 12th minute here, and the first goal will be scored in the 12th minute as well. What a lovely team goal that was. So many passes. I'll have to count how many passes there were and show you on the screen how many there were in total, but that was a lovely team goal there. So many players getting involved, so many players getting a touch of the ball early on, and Marco Ryan Thaler makes it 2 goals in 2 games in the Europa League for him, and that's now his second goal in professional football. So Ryan Thaler getting a goal and opening the scoring, but sadly for us the lead would only last for 5 minutes. We took the lead in the 12th minute, but Hearts equalised in the 17th minute. The goal we scored was really nice, lovely incisive passing, but this was just really silly by me here. You could see that I was dragging defenders out one by one here. First Galloway, then Riedewald, and then with Neom, the right back, completely lost the number 9, and the Hearts man smashes it in and makes it Hearts 1, Watford 1. In the 41st minute, Hearts could have taken the lead for the first time in the game here. Really poor from me once again at the back, giving the ball away with Loftus-Cheek, and thankfully for us the shot was well saved by Jack Butland, and it was still 1-1. So very poor defending from me in the first half, and we were lucky to be going into the break on level terms. We could have been back in front here on the stroke of half time. This header was cleared off the line, and Hearts did eventually get the ball away as the Scottish side make sure they would be level at the break. And 5 minutes after the break, these were the stats. Forgot to get them at half time, but as you can see there, they were pretty balanced, but we were dominating possession with 66% of it. But in the second half, Hearts had a great chance to take the lead here in the 63rd minute, but once again Jack Butland made a really good save and got this ball behind for a corner. And in the 73rd minute, well, how about this? Once again Hearts break through Walker, who goes through one-on-one, and this is a contender for miss of the season. One-on-one with Jack Butland, and he blazes the ball way wide of the post, nowhere near the target, and behind for a goal kick. So blush is spared, and that was how the game would finish. Final score, Hearts 1, Watford 1. So equalising goal for Hearts in the 17th minute was the final goal of the game. A 1-1 scoreline. Once again, we did dominate possession in this game, but I just didn't do enough, especially in the second half, to try and carve out more chances. But I have to say, on Twitter yesterday, I did post in the evening that I'm really finding this game very frustrating. I know a lot of people are having the same problems with me as well, although I do like the sort of the more realistic sort of passing, slow tempo build up sometimes. Don't get me wrong, sometimes it is quite nice to, just get the ball on the ground and take your time when in possession. But, I am kind of finding it a bit frustrating this year how when you want to get chances, you just can't seem to do it. Last season, or last year I should say, in FIFA 15, okay, don't get me wrong, sometimes it was just a bit too easy to get chances on the board, but at least you know how to do it. At least you knew how to, carve open the AI when you really needed to. But in this year's FIFA, there are certain times and there are certain games like that one against Hearts there where I just don't know how to break down the AI, and that's one of the most frustrating things I'm finding out about this year's FIFA. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad they've sort of made pace a lot less effective than it has been over the past few years, but this year it seems like whenever I want to break down the AI, or when I need to break down the AI I should say, if I'm struggling for most of the game, I'll probably struggle for the remainder of the game as well. It always seems like the AI seems to tighten up at the back and I can never break them down. Don't know whether you guys are having the same problems as me in that regard, but that is definitely something I'm finding this year. When I really need to break down the AI, when I really need to get some chances on the board late on, sometimes if they tighten up at the back and play defensive, I just can't get inside and create more opportunities. Still following that, we had a squad report, a useful monthly report, and also look at the league table as well. You can see right now we are currently sitting in 5th place with Watford.
Well, we know the qualities of this home team today, Alan, don't we? They're so strong defensively, best defensive record in the league.
And I think what makes this team so hard to beat is the fact that everybody works hard out of possession. It starts at the front with the strikers.
And of course, last season we did finish in 5th place with Watford. That's where we are right now. And last season we also had the best defensive record in the Premier League. And to start the season off, we're maintaining that as well. So just like last season, the key for us is defence. But the first chance of this second game of today's episode here against Newcastle would fall in the 26th minute. And the first goal will be scored as well. It's a first goal for Watford for Joel Matip, who came in the summer on a pre-contract from Schalke. The African defender getting his header on the end of this cross here, putting it past Tim Krul and into the back of the net as the Cameroonian makes it 1-0 to Watford. So good header by Matip. He is registered as 6'5" on the game. I thought he was actually 6'4" in real life. Maybe he is, I'm not too sure. But either way, the Cameroonian does make it 1-0 there. Don't know why I said African. It's a big region, big continent. But the Cameroonian makes it 1-0 and we do take the lead. In the 31st minute, Jack Butler makes a good save there and keeps it at 1-0. And in the 36th minute, another good chance for Newcastle here. Remy Cabella goes down the right-hand side. His cross is deflected but falls to Edin Dzeko. Back to Cabella. And his shot goes just wide of the post and behind for a goal kick. So still 1-0 in this game. At half-time, as you could see, pretty balanced first half. We were looking a little bit worse than Newcastle, but of course we did have the opening goal of the game, which was the most important thing. And in the second half here, one of the first chances of the second half would fall in the 77th minute. Ruben Loftus-Cheek really should have made it 2-0 and got his second goal of the season there, but that was a great save by Tim Krul to deny his volley from going in. And it was how the game would finish as well. Final score, Watford 1, Newcastle 0. And, you know, it was pretty funny, but I just talked about it a minute ago there, struggling to create chances against the AI. This time it was the AI struggling to create chances against me. In the second half, they just could not break us down. Joel Matip was a rock at the back, and I definitely think that is probably one thing you should take away from this year's FIFA. Attacking does feel a little bit more difficult, but defending seems a lot easier this year, at least in my opinion. Maybe you guys disagree. Actually, it'd be a pretty good discussion to have in the comments with you guys, actually, what you guys think about this year's FIFA in terms of attacking versus defending. You know, attacking this year, I do feel it's a lot harder this year to break down the AI and for the AI to sometimes break down you. But defensively, I'm so much more solid and competent this year. You know, last year in FIFA 15, sometimes it was like Bambi on ice for me when controlling my centre-backs. But this year, I feel so much more confident. And that's why this year we're getting so many more clean sheets. And I'm seeing so many more games finish up with us having 0 goals conceded or just a 1 goal conceded. We don't concede too many goals, or usually. So, you know, that's definitely something which I'm finding this year. Maybe attacking is a little bit harder, but it should be noted that defending does seem a little bit easier, and I guess that is kind of a good thing because defensively, like I said, last year and a couple of years before that as well, I really did struggle defensively. So I guess this year it's good to know that I am a little bit more confident in the back. Still following out, we had some international friendlies with Canada. We were so close to having our first win with Canada against Egypt, but sadly they scored a late equaliser to finish the game at 2-2. Then we lost to Mexico, sadly, and we are still yet to get our first win with the Canadians. I'm not sure when it's going to come, if it does come. I'm sure it will at some stage, but I'm not sure when it's going to come. It's pretty frustrating, don't get me wrong, but we knew the challenge we were going to have with Canada, and I don't want to leave them until we have the World Cup qualifiers next year. If we do start to lose all of our games, then maybe we'll probably get the sack, let alone have to think about leaving. But for the time being, I'm just seeing how they're getting on in international friendlies, but sadly, we are still yet to pick up a single win with Canada in these friendlies, and the wait for a win still does go on. Still, we take on Stoke City for the third and final game of today's episode here away at the Britannia Stadium in the Premier League. Getting back to winning ways with that win against Newcastle. They're our first win in 5 games, I think it was, and we should have took the lead here in the 4th minute. Troy Deeney, who hasn't scored in 6 games, I think it is, had a great chance to make it 1-0 after Guilherme parried the shot there. He should have opened the scoring, but our captain hit the bar with a free header, and eventually Guilherme dived on the rebound, or caught the rebound, I should say, and it was still 0-0. Jack Butler then made an absolutely fantastic double save here to keep the score goalless in the 14th minute. What a fantastic double save that was by our young goalkeeper to thwart his former teammates and keep it at 0-0. And in the 26th minute, another great chance for Stoke here, and once again it's Jack Butler to the rescue, playing against his former team at his former ground and making another good save and making sure that at half time it was still 0-0. It was a pretty balanced first half. We had more possession, but it was still goalless. But 2 minutes after the restart, a great chance for us to take the lead here as Nathan Redmond swings in his cross. Troy Deeney Deeney wins the header, but what a save that is by Guilherme. And in this battle of goalkeepers, both were playing pretty well, and it was still 0-0. And in the 64th minute, a good chance for Stoke to take the lead. The former Liverpool man Charlie Adam plays the ball out wide towards Andy Wilkinson. The cross comes in, it's headed down, and it is Charlie Adam who gets the goal and makes it Stoke City 1, Watford 0. So pretty poor defending from me in the centre there. Butland was dealing with everything in this game, but not this one. The former Liverpool, Blackpool and Rangers midfielder volleying this ball in. Pretty simple finish for the Scottish midfielder, and he makes it Stoke City 1, Watford 0. So Stoke take the lead, but just like I said in the first game, sadly for us, the problem in this game was I couldn't break the AI down when I needed to, and in the second half they tightened up defensively, and I just couldn't work my way inside to get more chances. The game did finish Stoke 1, Watford 0, and again you'll see with the full-time stats, the problem for me was quite simple. I had the ball, I had possession, but I just couldn't do enough with it, because when the AI tightened up, I just couldn't break them down, and that is something which quite frankly I'm struggling to get past in this year's FIFA. It really is the hurdle for me, which I just can't seem to overcome. But that does end the episode, guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do leave a like, so it's much appreciated, and really help my channel out. This is the first video I've made in my new flat, and a few of you guys have been asking me whether I can do a flat tour or not. I will be trying to make one very soon. I've also been very busy setting things up and unpacking everything. Follow me on Snapchat if you want, at DocsJC, and you can see my new flat from the inside, and I will hopefully get a flat tour up for you guys very soon. But thank you for watching the video regardless. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.